And you still say, give me the guarantee. It says, I can't. I must load test it. Because it's an unknown. How it ties into the building is unknown. And loading a load test is going to prove to me whether it can handle. Or, to avoid the costly load test, if you let me epoxy bolt it into the wall, I don't need a load test because I've refurbished 97% of the Farscape with new bolts, which I'll be able to physically show you. Photographed of every one of these bolts will be new hex head bolts. All my joints will be sealed with silicone. The Farscape will be primed and painted. The EPA law applies here too. Is this older than 1978? I must have a renovator's license. I must pull a permit. If I'm going to touch this Farscape, change one bolt, do I need a permit?
Well, Cisco, I must say your strategies work well here because you mentioned the square bolt, you mentioned your hex head bolt, you can see the hex head bolt here, and the two top ones on this ladder, and we can actually see the old holes. Yeah. They actually relocated the ladder. Yeah. And apparently there's a maintenance on it.
Right. But if I do all those things and I seal it up, the only thing left for you to get the word guarantee or the word certification from me is let me load test it. And I won't load test it unless I change all the bolts. So there's even a preparation process, getting it ready for a load test. And the other thing is the connection you're known to the wall. Now let's say this was welded. Let's say this was welded, there was no bolts here. How do I verify the weld? Without an expressive x-ray machine. But as soon as I blow a hole, and if this was welded and I blow a hole through here, not even welded, forget it, I don't care about the welding, but I put a new bolt. As soon as I bolt it and I back up my weld, now my weld can stay. I seal it still so that water doesn't get inside and eat that weld anyway, but my bolt now is my primary. So the only unknowns on Farscapes are welded connections, which we back up with a bolt, unknown connections into the building, which we either verify through a very expensive construction process, or we epoxy bolt next to it. But otherwise, 97% of this Farscape, I'm able to make an opinion on right away that says I got original hardware, which I won't allow a load test on. But as soon as I reinforce or replace every one of these bolts and give this thing a paint job, I can then give you a certification with no disclaimers. Is that as good as it gets instead of a load test? So all you're looking for from all your inspectors is to not take opinion tests anymore, which they say is very clear. To the best of my information, knowledge, and belief, the Farscape is structurally sound and has been kept painted. Those are unacceptable.
So we're maximizing bucket safety.
This is a national strategy now because there's more and more people learn about this, that it's this simple. Don't have your inspectors come out the window and step on this and do an evaluation from above. Don't have them do an inspection where they come down a set of stairs all the way to the ground. They're taking their lives in their own hands because at any time a tread can give way, a support can give way. All these things basically repeat themselves. So whether this is a 1-story or a 10-story, they don't fix all these stories except for the first floor. So whatever you see for the first floor usually repeats itself on all the floors. So if they're not maintaining the first floor, do you think they're maintaining the second? So every inspection for Farscapes is now at ground level. And if you have binoculars, it'll help. But otherwise, everything is with a naked eye.
This is extremely educational. I think that's what we need for training and education.
Well, we'll send this out as a link to you, and you can send it out to as many of your constituents and members of your association, and they can watch it on YouTube night and day.